Hello and welcome everybody to the Virtual Germany community session of the Global XR conference. I'm joined by Rolf Kruse and Stefan Loos, who will talk a bit later. And I just wanted to first mention that our community, Virtual Germany, is basically a loose association of different communities in Germany. And we've been organizing events in virtual reality for last 3 years. So we will go into more details. To be precise, Rolf will go into details about this. I guess you two guys should introduce yourself before we start.
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone. Hi Global XR community. I'm very happy that Roman organized that slot for us. So my name is Rolf Kruse. I will have some short presentation later and will introduce myself. So I'm a professor in Germany at the University of Applied Sciences and teaching digital media. So see you.
Okay. Hello everybody too. My name is Stefan Loos, and Robin, thank you very much for the right to join this group here. I'm one of the 3 CEOs of the Imblend GmbH, and I will later explain 2 different scenarios we are developing. One for a German bank and the other is for German Educational Institute.
Very good. Yeah. So I look forward to the practical examples. But first, we will try to learn a bit about our history of what this Virtual Germany initiative has been doing in Germany in previous events, and so I would give the word to Rolf to go into more details, and we'll join back later.
Yeah, thank you. So talking about history, I think it's a big word for just 3 years, but in terms of XR, sure, it's some time. So this is a community organized by the organizers of local meetups in Germany. probably that map is not very current. But we met before Corona, before the pandemic, and thought we should join together. Then with the pandemic, it was really this starting point to go virtual, to combine all that communities to some special events. So that's the organization. It's not a big organization. It's the organizers of the meetups. And we started with doing events and now regularly do events and are always between professionalizing our events, getting more professional and doing experiments. And we're always discussing that. So what is the goal of us? So we want to improve exchange and networking between German-speaking XR communities, but everybody that speaks English is happy. Welcome to those events. We always find a way to handle that in a nice way. We mainly communicate outside of the events by the Discord server. I will give the link at the end. And every XR community provider, organizer, founder is happy welcome to join us. So there's no formal organization on that. We're really an informal, people-based network that is driven by the idea of joining and networking and coming together by virtual reality, augmented reality stuff. So we started with exploring what's possible with platforms in 2020 and before. So we made an analysis on that, all the features. There was nothing that was perfect for us, but we selected one and started on Engage, and this is still one of the platforms we really like to do, like to use for our events. And we started with an event that happened on 3 planets, I think Earth, Mars, and I forgot what the third one was. And we had keynote speakers and really large event, very nice and fantastic. We were whale riding in the space around the moon. That was something I can really imagine. It was a very nice, good start, and people liked it to be together. So it was really informative and engaging at the same time. Sorry. Then on the event of the Gamescom fair in Germany, we did an event in Altspace. So we got into how to use Altspace for virtual events. And we organized a panel discussion, how XR will influence games, or what the combination of games and XR will be. So this was also quite successful, interesting to organize and to have all the people and responses. So quite nice thing, interesting environment we designed. These are some images from that event. We always have our map with us, so to get people located, get into discussion by going on the place on the map. Yeah, we're German speaking. This is just a map of Germany, so I think we should have another map also, or we already have one. The third event was done on Mozilla Hubs, so first time on a web-based platform. That was interesting. We organized a bar camp, which I really liked, as a quite informal way. Groups with special interests or the same interests met and discussed. There was always one running the individual session on a topic, and from I don't know, improv theater stuff to technology things. There was quite diverse discussions at that bar camp conference thing. Then we tried to do we did some kind of convention, a fair on 3 platforms, which was quite challenging. So we had quite of portals between those different platforms to move around. So in NEOS, we had a fantastic world with a lot of stands and presentations of companies and groups. They are working in XR and generating experiences. And in Mozilla Hubs, we had more the discussion part, and in Tivoli, we had the after show party, to say so. That was also kind of very interesting experience, and I'm not sure how early we are with those experiments, but it's not usual always what we're doing. So this is an image from the NIAS environment, and yeah, that was the party afterwards in Tivoli. Then another chance to try out things, mixed reality or a hybrid setup. We were invited to take part in the Places Festival in Gelsenkirchen in Germany, which is a festival about XR in 2021. And we had a real space that we rebuilt in virtual space. We aligned the virtual and the real space, and so people could join, just getting into that space in Gelsenkirchen, join by setting up a headset, join a virtual world, and in the virtual world, sure, there were virtual or other people, remote users that were present virtually, and we had really very nice, more or less accidental connections between people that met there, that knew them before, but met them at that location, at that hybrid location, and got in touch again. So that was also quite an interesting setup and very, very successful to me as an experience. Then we had something for Christmas. I don't know, Wichteln, I don't know what the English word is for that. So we always experiment with the kind of moderation and interactivity you can do with people to increase connectivity between people. So people brought some presents with them and gave them to others with a short story on that. I think we were ice skating and several other things. Then the seventh event was quizzing, trivia. So we organized, I don't know, it was at least 40 questions, very interesting, all around VR history stuff. And people were moving on one of the colors, obviously. It was black, red, and yellow to that. And it was also very fundamental. I think we had also an interesting award to give, and that was also a quite successful experiment. Again, on Engage, we had another Christmas edition in it was 2022, where we together jointly decorated some of the Christmas trees and had some discussion set around the fireplace and just talked about opportunities. Again, on Places, and that's the last event we did in May. Also a hybrid event again, because Places is a physical event presenting XR initiatives and experiments and projects. Again, we was hybrid. We were in the church, the place where the Places festival took place, or one of the places, and we also had a combination of virtual presentations on a physical stage and physical presentations brought into a virtually rebuilt church environment. So we always try to experiment and research on the possibilities to merge real people with virtual environments. So I think, and so this is the link. Maybe Robin can drop in the chat the link to our Discord server. I think it's 7 days valid link. Maybe you can add that to the chat. And one last reminder or input is there's a platform that's, I think it's an online calendar for XR events with some focus on German-speaking events, but the Global XR Conference sure is on that calendar too. So if you are interested in events, not only the virtual Germany events, take a look at this one. Yeah, that was my short intro to the community, and I will give back to Robin for the next presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rolf. I actually found a link that is valid more than 7 days, so I put that one in the chat. Um, so, yeah, a good overview, and like again, everybody is welcome to join our Discord. We are also welcoming English-speaking people, and I'm just trying to promote some XR in Germany. So our next speaker will give some introduction to more practical sort of XR development in Germany through his company Imblend, which we can see in the background. Yeah, please feel free to share your presentation or something that you prepared.
Yes, I prepared 2 videos. Yes.
Yes, you can share the slides
I
if you
saw this. Yes, of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Shall I start?
Yes, please.
Thank you for introducing. Yes, I'm proud to present these 2 examples we are just developing. The first one is an AR and VR example we are developing together with a German bank. And first of all, two sentences to the Imblend company. We have really specializing and with a focus on banks in Germany, especially on small banks. We do some developments for other companies also, but me and the 2 other co-founders, we are in our earlier life, he was working in the bank, and over the years we were more and more developing towards education, and later we founded the Imblend GmbH. So we have a really near contact to this banking industry, and the bank industry, especially in German, is really not known for his innovations. They are on the other side, I think. And one special thing in German is we have 2 groups of banks. We have the big ones, the international global players like Deutsche Bank or Commerzbank. And we have a lot of small banking and insurances like Volksbanken, Raiffeisenbanken, Sparkassen. They are about 1,500 small banks all over the whole country spread. And the problem is they lack often the power to get really used to innovations because they are really small. And what we recognized the last 2 or 3 years is that a lot of German banks are looking to the XR technologies. Just some of them are founded some cases, but a lot of them are really, really looking to find these. And it's nice to be one of the partner to go the way together with the banks. So the first scenario is a journey, an immersive journey for a scenario to recruit young or also older employees, because the German banks, like many other companies, have the lack of young people on the customer side and also on the employee side. So our partner, it's called Volksbank Ulm-Biberach. Greetings there. We put our heads together and make some decisions. How could we stand up from the other banks on the journey to recruit young employees? So this journey we are developing, and it's still a prototype, starts with augmented reality. Based on WebGL to deliver the content really really soft. You don't need to deploy any applications to get in contact, to get an interactive contact to the potential candidate. And the whole part is really interactive. And later it transforms into a VR world. For this, we used the Mozilla Hubs Cloud, like Rolf before introduced also, I think in the 7th example or 6th, he introduced it. So I'm loading a short video. I make a small film of this journey, and I will explain what is happening there. Give me just a second. So, first of all, we have these AR experience. We made is world tracked. The first thought we had it, we create a simple business card and we put the augmented reality context on this card, but then we changed the mind and made a world track, so you can use it everywhere. You can spread it via social media, via email, or via a QR code. And the candidate is placing this whole scene, and you see a scanned version of the recruiter of the company is coming out of this door, and he's talking directly to the person who is watching this scene. And on the floor, we put really simple 4 buttons. And if the candidate hits one of these buttons, he's directly calling the recruiting of the company, or you can hit on the email icon, and it opens directly completed email with the whole text. Hello, Volksbank, I want to join your team. Call me to generate an agreement. And during this, the guy you can see here is telling the something about the 3 main branches. They are lacking employees, like the personal educatives, or im selling, and so on. And now you can hit these buttons. They are spread over the floor, and then the audio voices is changing and explaining more about these special terms to get more information to the candidates. And after this, the avatar goes back to the door, and you can just follow the avatar. And now you can see the email. It automatically opens, and now it transforms into the VR world. We skipped the loading bar. And now we have a digital twin of one of these. Well, it's not really digital twin. It's an stock room. We just changes the colors, and these 3 areas, which was also on the AR part, are now spread over this room here, and you can navigate classically through this world via a mobile phone, like you see in the video, like via headset or PC, and we are sharing some videos. They are triggered automatically. You don't have to hit any button. You enter the area and it starts. There are some buttons with more information. You also can get a call or an email, or here's some gamification with a quiz, some questions about the company, and you can now put in the answer, and you will see if it's wrong or not. So you can deliver some informations on a gamification way. As you can see here, you can automatically call, and you don't have to dial in the number. Yes, here you can see the view via the VR headset. It's the same, just in 6DoF. Yes. We are going to roll out these scenario, and the first feedbacks we got from the potential employees is really positive, because it's a way they never before got in contact to an to a bank or another a company before. So I think what we are doing here is quite a good way to share informations and get in contact to prospective candidates for a later employee. Yes. This is the first scenario is still a prototype. There are follow-up, some more interactive scenarios like this quiz where you can learn more about the company. We also are going to deploy some voice speeches to the bots. You could see here, here are two bots waiting, and they are just like a billboard, so they are rotating and just focusing the candidate, and they will talk with the candidate. So we will combine it classically with ChatGPT, with the Google API for speech to text, and then ChatGPT will give an answer, and we'll put this answer through the text to speech API, and then you can get the emotion. You can talk to this bot. Don't know if it will work really well, but I think it's a nice idea to do this on this way. Yes, this is the first example I would like to show you. The second one is basically augmented reality scenario, marker-based and multi-marker-based scenario. This time not for a bank, it's for the German, I have to catch the word, Friedrich Ebert Foundation, I think it would be in English. It's founded to spread informations which are socially and moral heavy impact, like respect, tolerance, all these things is a main target of the Friedrich, one of the main targets of Friedrich Ebert Foundation. So we got in contact with them, and they we are developing together an cube. It's this one. It's a respect cube. The idea comes from the merge cube. I think a lot of people from the XR scene would know the merge cube. It's really the same technically idea. So we have 6 sides on this cube, and you have one QR code to start the experience, and you will come to the landing page. There are some instructions how the cube works and so on. And this cube will be provided to German schools, to schoolers in the younger teens, so about 10 till 16 years old. And here's some educational stuff on the 6 side about the respect and tolerance and so on. There's story from a grandma and her grandson, Maria and Dennis, and they have some discussion. Dennis came home from school and he got some mobbing, and he is really angry. And then his grandma is telling him when she was young, she experienced the same, and then they are making together a journey through the time. He is telling what he is get in contact today, and she tells him what it was when she was young. And there's some different scenarios about respect and tolerance. And I will share the video also. So as you can see, you can scan the QR code, and then you will come to the homepage, and you hit the button to start the experience. And then we played with the depth of the cube. As you can see here, you can look inside of the cube, and this is the room of the grandmother, Maria, and they are talking together, and he's explaining what he felt after being mobbed. And if you turn around the cube, on every different side, you have a different scene you can watch. On the next one, for example, here the scene. Dennis is explaining his grandmother from a scene he watched a lesbian couple, an homosexual couple in the U-Bahn. I don't know the English word, sorry. and they got laughed out and spotted and blamed from the other people inside of the train. And so there's the next point they are discussing. And at the end of every scene, on every 6th side, there opens a call to action button with a small yes, a CTA like dear pupils, discuss together in your classroom how you could prevent happening these if you are in the train too, for example. So we have a physical object you can provide, and you have modern technology to get the pupils used to consume these informations, also on an like gamification way, and to share these important things like respect and tolerance and so on. Yes, these are the two examples I would like to provide to you. I hope there was interesting and thank you, dear Robin, that I could today share these with the other people. You don't have sound, Robin?
Yeah, I muted myself. Thanks. Okay, so I put out the video. Again, thank you very much for this introduction to your recent work. And yeah, it really shows the potential of AR in like all these different ways. Like especially the cube is like a nice connection to the physical world. I think that's what's often missing, is like a real sort of the connection between the virtual and the physical. Yeah. Right. So I also brought back Rolf because now after this short introduction of your background, we wanted to enter into a panel discussion. Originally, I was planning to have more like different pitches from people to talk about their projects, but we had like some that had to unfortunately drop out due to scheduling conflicts. So we will just take the remaining time to have an open discussion.
Robin, I would be able to give also some input on our works. I know we didn't discuss that in detail.
Oh, you have another presentation?
I have some presentation of some work. Maybe there's some doubling with the things that Stefan does, and I will skip some of the slides. I should have taken out some of them. I will try to be short so that we have let's say at least 15 minutes to talk about what's next or what's happening or what is to do. I will try to
awesome.
share my browser tab. Can you give me some feedback if this is working?
Looks good. Yes.
Looks good. So yeah, so that's me. I think I already mentioned. I do know I'm not a study educator, as most of the professors are. I'm more a digital media guy, and I was interested in XR since the 90s. So interesting times. There's still an ongoing development and many questions how to use and why on that topic. But obviously, it's a topic that I have to research on. It's immersive learning. So examples are close to that what Stefan also presented. We have a small lab running for researching that stuff. It's quite applicable stuff. It's not foundational research on that. Typically it's we're doing instructional design single user, so at least that was the focus in the first years. How to explain climatic situations or devices, how they change the climate in a room is one of the examples that we were able to develop together with partners at our university. They're teaching that. Unfortunately, this is still not the daily business of teaching. It's once a semester. Some VR headsets are available to people get into it, at least at our university. It's still not a typical use. But there's a need to change something. Teaching has to improve. We're really is a need to change in the teaching style. To get rid of frontal style teaching. It's more about moderating stuff. It's less about auswendig lernen, I don't know, to learn just factual stuff and to give it in some exams at the end and written exams. It's about competencies that are more in the form of 21st century skills, as they are called, or 4Cs of 21st century learning, like critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. And yeah, what's better usable as a simulation of a real world situation with XR. So yeah, that obviously is a chance, but still universities are looking like that. At least at our case. And if you want to make group work, there's always someone lost. You have a group work to 3 people and one is not really involved in that. So physical situations, physical learning spaces are not really easily changed to new styles of learning, which is a pity. Also, the digital space, it's very text heavy. It's not visual, it's not really interactive. So a Moodle space is named as a space, but it doesn't have any of the attributes of space that we may be able to use for improved teaching. There is a lot of work going on in the last 20 years, I would say. Hybrid learning spaces is one of the topics, and colleague Christian Kohls is working on that. He mainly is using smart boards to bring in the digital in the physical space. So that's, I think, one valid chance. Our approach, not surprising in that conference, is to escape from flatland, as it is named by what was the name of the illustrator, Edward Tufte. Impressive book to me in early days, seeing that the content and teaching content is always stuck into a frame in a 2D form, device bound, and it's not really part of our life and our space. And XR does open that to more immersion. You can move in that space. It could be content is objectified. It's an object you interact with. It could be playfully designed. And so complex content could be transferred much more easily. And so new forms of education formats, scenarios, learning, teaching scenarios could be there. And so, yeah, just one situation might be to learn about, I don't know what the word, I forgot, mammoth. I don't know if this English word is, to be inside such scenarios, see the real scale of them. Probably nothing new to XR people, but it's not in the schools, at least not in our country. So yeah, on the other hand, we have a lot of devices, and we're really happy that there's so much going on. It's not enough to have very many developers there, so there's still only some companies that build the hardware. There should be more, especially in Europe. That would be really fine. But the device itself, it's really great to have such a development. I loved HoloLens. I love the autonomous devices like Quest. It really makes it more feasible to use it in educational contexts. And I always include in that some visions of a real-world metaverse or AR cloud, or how do you name it, to have an understanding that digital media already is all over the place, ubiquitous, and the devices will make more of that digital canvas visible to us. I think that's also important to mention. Yeah, spaces should change. So if we want to use it, XR at universities, we should have some space that people can really interact with the virtual environments. We will see how this will be possible. Not having tables with screens on it, but to have a device people are walking around, hopefully interacting with each other. So that would be a nice thing. What we want to have is more presence, and always at least in German speaking, presence is meant to be physically present. And we know that this is not always the case. You can be physically present in a lecture, but not really listening. You're not open to that. And you can be very present in hopefully I now in that digital online format to be very present. You have to be aware that there's a lot of different types of presence, and you really have to be aware which of the types you're just addressing and trying to improve and use for getting a close connection to the people and to improve learning on that. Yeah, digital presence on Zoom calls. Sure, it's with videos, it's not a real connection, and typically we know all that from teaching. It's yeah, people put off their camera, you're alone there, so probably all teachers have seen that. And there are several approaches to get more in contact, like the Together mode in Microsoft Teams, which is a nice, funny experience, but it doesn't do the job enough. Interesting. So changing your visual appearance is something like you do in enhancing your background, like I do here, but also enhancing your experience. It's not something that everybody wants to have. So at least for older people or older teachers, not young teachers, this is something that's kind of weird. I think for younger people's role play is something that's more common. You have 2D spaces where you can walk around. I really like GatherTown and Work Adventure, but we are more in the business of 3D avatars and 3D environments where avatars are from more or less abstract presentations to more or less realistic. What's really interesting to have real-world collaboration, so multi-user setups are the thing that I think is, because learning from each other is something that's very important for learning, especially if we have such dynamic content as we currently have in digital media and technologies. There's so much to teach. We also run Mozilla Hubs. We used it and use it for career fair, for information days, for exhibitions, but also for teaching. Unfortunately, also only experimentally. So we are experimenting with different types. We had a collaboration with another university in Ilmenau, which was quite successful. 2 courses, 2 groups of students interacting in the virtual space together, presenting their stuff to the others, discussing it. And that was a quite nice experiment. They designed their own spaces. Because they were media technology affine people, it was possible for them to design the space and get around with all those technical tools, but that was quite a successful thing. But we also had some cooperation with journalists, students studying journalists at the Katholische Universität in Eichstätt, which designed a space, a train station for refugees. And you can experience there some statements of refugees in the current refugee wave and in historical after the World War II and see how they relate or are different to that. So that's a quite emotional experiment. It's also done by Mozilla Hubs and using those web-based tools. I just skipped this one and we'll just make some references to other networks that we run. We initiated a group of German-speaking universities called University, yeah, an obvious one in this by naming. So there are a lot of members that we have in that group, working group. We're exchanging regularly, monthly, and we do have, okay, that's twice. We do have a conference. It will be a German speaker, but you're invited to join that too. It's physically. We decided to make it physically because we communicated over 1.5 years just virtually. So we decided to take the chance to be physically together. But talking about virtual rooms at universities, it's in November in Erfurt, and it's free. And we would be happy if you join that. Just go to the website and go to Anmelden. And another announcement, just today we fixed the date. I couldn't remember the exact date, but it's March 2024, also about VR/AR learning, and labs from German-speaking countries will present their work and invite people on location or online or in hybrid format. So that's it for my intro. Hopefully not too long, so that we have time for some questions.
It was very interesting. Yeah, thanks for this. Upcoming events, especially very interesting insights. We have a few minutes left because the next session will start at 8. So,
Okay.
but let's have a quick maybe a summary of like a wrap up of what we just talked about. Yeah.
So I have so if we would have more time, but the discussion should be what is the future, because that's what we are working now. So what are the challenges? What is the future? Maybe talking about mixed reality in terms of technology. So because I think one of the challenges to blend, to just bring in the name of your company, to blend those two, I think that's an obvious, because we won't go completely virtually. Sure, we won't have a plug-in in our brain and just be physical by laying down in some soup, but we will stay physically. And I think for people really want to have a combination of that. Yeah, digital won't go away, physical won't go away, and people would like to use. So that something I'm interested, because I, as I mentioned, physically being present physically is important for the setup at universities. Yeah, any comments on that, Robin, Stefan?
Yes, I'm absolutely on you, Rolf. I also think the virtual spaces will not replace the physical world. I think at the mid-range it will be depending on the use case. I think some cases are especially made for RIA, but also a lot of especially for mixed reality or just augmented reality. I think you have to define the use case and what you want to achieve, and then you will have the right technology to get over there. And I also don't think that everything will happen in real virtual worlds. I don't think so. No.
Robin?
My comment, yeah, I absolutely agree that I see that future more of a combination of all the virtual content with the real world, and it will be some sort of extension, right? So you can extend the real world with additional virtual things, or you can do some things in the virtual, but it should always reference the real world. Yeah, but basically.
I think one big milestone we have all on our road is to match together or to make it more homogenize the different technology, not technologies, the different devices. We prefer often the WebXR technology because you can provide it to as many devices as you can, but there are still a lot of regulations you have to look on, especially on WebXR. The iOS devices are every time the bottleneck, every time. And if you don't want to do it via WebXR, you have to do app deployments. And if you want to deploy an app to the App Store on Apple, it's also a big thing. And you have to support all these different Android and iOS. And I think one game changer will be if we have any chance to homogenize these problems depending on the two platforms, Android and.
Are you optimistic that the Vision Pro will change something in the strategy of Apple and in the cross-platform thing?
If I look the Lightning plug, they also did nothing to homogenize something with the others. So I hope you will be right, but I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, I also experienced that as a problem in reaching out and distributing, and so that's fine. So one last topic would be the big one, the AI stuff. So how would this influence learning, XR? What do you expect from it, or how do you already use it? Or is it requested from people? Probably it is a question with your customers, your clients.
Yes. Today, I think 2023, AI is a buzzword like Metaverse was the last 2 years before. So everyone is nearly requesting any use case with AI, depending on XR or not, I think. But I think the AI could and will be a big game changer too, because today we are using some kind of AI. We're using it for bug hunting, for example. Yes, you can simple use ChatGPT. If you look on Sentry.io, if I can do some advertisement for them, it's a really nice platform to look on bugs, exceptions, exploit, etc. And it's also connected to ChatGPT to generate some potential Lösung, I like the word. The solution, thank you, to fix this, and also for generating the 3D models or to generate photogrammetry. AI is still doing a good job today, I think. So I think it's a big thing.
I expect it to be bigger than that. I think I could be replaced, and I'm not bad at that because I like change and I like improvement, and I think teaching, so individual teaching, personalized teaching is more possible. And as I told in my short presentation, I would be more like a coach, a moderator, like that, and the actual factual stuff could be run in a quite good general quality already by the systems we have in the area of computer science. Because sure, in the models that have been trained, answers to computer science are quite valid, which is probably not the case in some other areas that are not in the models already. So I expect, or I would be interested in experiments where we really drive that to some not end, but to some really next step, to have really improved teaching, because people desire better styles of teaching. So Robin, how much time do we have? It would be easy to fill, but want to...
No, we have to come to an end because I'm not sure the next session will kick us out eventually. Yeah, I also just wanted to conclude that the AI hype is definitely a very positive development, and I think just like any new technology, people will use it in different ways, and it will become more integrated in all sorts of things. It's just the beginning, and yeah, it's an exciting time. And on also this will also benefit the VR and AR developments, and yeah, I can't wait to have this more in our everyday life. That's my takeaway. All right. Yeah, I wanted to mention that we had another person that was supposed to come today, and had an interesting project, and I was promising to share that, but I think I will just leave a link in the video, I mean in the chat, and that was actually quite on topic, because Christina Kinne, or also known as Chaos Princess, developed a sort of virtual bar where you can chat with AI on using GPT-3, and yeah, you can find that on this more information about her project on this website here. Oops, sorry. And then, yeah, thanks again for everybody to join our community session. It was only 60 minutes because we were doing this very spontaneously. In 2020, we had like a longer session where we actually introduced different communities that we try to represent, and you can take a look in our previous video if you're interested in other areas of Germany, and we hope to yeah, do this again next year, and give you some more updates from different parts of Germany, and also from the hardworking software developers that try to bring the virtual worlds to life. Yeah. All right. Yes, let's close the session. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, and have a
Bye-bye.
nice weekend.
Have a nice time.
Bye.